Then, as the C-47 made its slow turn to the left, Sandor hit the manual handle that released the tow line from the nose of the glider. He saw the rope drop into the darkness, then watched as the twin-engine plane disappeared into the night off his starboard side. He was alone. The sound of the C-47 engines quickly faded into the night, leaving Sandor amid an exquisite silence. The quiet could be mesmerizing, but he busied himself with the task at hand. At this hour of night he was not concerned about encountering other aircraft, especially as his altitude dropped, but he was alert to the dark sky before him as he took control of the instruments. Even a collision with a flock of large birds could pose a deadly hazard. He had reviewed the navigation system with Craig Robb. It was similar to the other gliders he had flown. A single stick controlled the ailerons, which governed bank and roll. This would have to be coordinated with the foot pedals that moved the tail rudder, regulating the glider's yaw. A hand lever worked the flaps that would reduce speed as he came in for a landing. The first order of business was a controlled descent. The ASG-29 is an expertly designed glider with high-aspect wings, and Sandor instantly discovered how sensitive the craft could be when he made his first attempt to roll the plane to the port side and begin downward. "Whoa," he said aloud, as the glider seemed to take off underneath him. He leveled out, then had another go at it. He was moving at more than 120 miles an hour and was rapidly approaching landfall. This time he banked more slowly, making a smooth transition into a descent that took him within view of the enormous lake below. Lago de Maracaibo was the size of a small sea. He followed with another roll, this time to the starboard side, dropping even lower. As he pulled out of that turn, he spotted a small formation of gulls coming toward him off the port side. Not wanting to hit them, but not risking an unduly quick maneuver, he eased farther to starboard, taking him off course but averting the impact. Sandor had a quick look at the LED readout of his digital compass. He needed to come back 20 degrees to port, which would return him to the planned route. The more populated areas were along the coast, and now that he was reaching the shore, he intended to move quickly west and get far enough inland so the chance of being spotted from the ground was, as Deputy Director Burns might say, within a tolerable degree of risk. The key to his mission was surprise. Detection of any sort could prove fatal. Sandor was over land, and as he turned the glider back on course, he began to make out the outlines beneath him. The night vision goggles were not all that much help in the open sky, but now the landscape below came into focus. He was passing over one town after another: Campo Maria, Rosario, Pachiques, and finally Barranquitas. He struggled to maintain the precarious balance between staying below radar levels and keeping his altitude high enough to reach his landing area before gravity and wind currents brought him down. He repeatedly worked the controls to raise the nose of the glider, then lower it again, resulting in something akin to an untracked roller coaster ride, as he and his unpowered craft raced through the dark night. South of the village of Barranquitas, he made his final and most dangerous turn. At this low altitude, barely clear of the treetops, he would have to negotiate a 270-degree roll that would take him to the clearing where he intended to set down. Once again, he was confronted with the difference between a glider and a conventional aircraft. There was no margin for error here, no second chance if he missed the landing. Sandor would have only one opportunity to get to the ground safely. If he failed, he and the glider would end up a shattered mess among the trees and vines below. His vision was in constant motion, moving from the jungle ahead as it rose up to meet the glider, having a look at the compass in his lap as it helped him keep on course, then swiveling back and forth to check the wing flaps as he worked the levers and foot pedals to slow the plane. Suddenly, as if an oasis had appeared in an endless desert, the clearing was visible among the dense, towering trees. Sandor pushed on the hand lever until the flaps were virtually perpendicular to the long, graceful wings. He held the foot pedals steady on a course of dead reckoning as he pulled the release switch for the water tank that serves as ballast beneath the fuselage. The rear of the aircraft released what might have appeared as some sort of liquid jet stream. Even with all of this, Sandor knew he was coming in too high and too fast. He had simply not seen the clearing early enough. Under the best of circumstances, a glider this size would need more than 500